And one of the most I don't know how to word this, maybe the most famous sukkim of that the Rebbe always likes to quote from Micha. It says, Mitzrayim Aran Neflאות, like days going on in Mitzrayim, I will show you wonders. It's known what the Zohar analyzes on this pasuk. It's brought down the Mamar of Arabein Marnasi. And Mashakos that says like your days in the plural. Going out of Mitzrayim was only in one day. Also, when it says to remember going out of Mitzrayim, so if for some reason we're calling it days in the plural in Micha, so maybe in the Tzivui in the pasuk where it talks about in Parshas Boy and other psukim that talk in the Torah about remembering you're going out of Mitzrayim, it should also say it in plural, but it doesn't. It says, and the same pasuk is brought down the Goda, Zachar as Hayom Hazar Yetzasam Mitzrayim. Remember this day that you went out of Mitzrayim. That's one place. Another place it says this Lashon is brought down the Godel month. Tisker as Yom Tzeis Kumat Mitzrayim. So if you remember the days of you going out of Mitzrayim, then he goes on. Kol Yemei Chayecha. We learn out different things in the Haggadah from the words Kol Yemei Chayecha. But in Zachar as Hayom, it says in singular. It says in one day. Therefore, question over here is on the Nevuah of the Navi Micha that uses the words why does it say like the days in the plural when it's really one day? We also need to understand the content of the pasuk that says like your days of going out of the land of Mitzrayim, I will show you wonders. So first of all, let's take this pasuk in the simple shot. What is the simple meaning? What's the pasuk trying to tell you? The Pirish HaPashut B'Zehu, the simple meaning of this pasuk is Shagula, see the love of the future redemption that's going to come through Mashiach. He and Ba'ifin Sha'aran and Neflאות, being a way of I'll show you wonders. Like it was the redemption of going out of Mitzrayim. Ain't a movement, it's not understood. That's a simple shot. That's as awesome and as powerful and as wondrous and as miraculous things that took about when that place where we went on Mitzrayim. You're going to have the same thing when we're going to go out of this goals with Mashiach. So the Rebbe asked, ain't a movement. It's not understood. How do we even compare the two? It's explained in many different psukim of Chazal. Only the future redemption will be a complete redemption that has no exile following it. As opposed to the Geula of Yitzias Mitzrayim, that's not considered a Geula Shleima. Why is it not considered a Geula Shleima, a complete Geula? Because after that Geulus, we were still able, after that Geula, we were still able to go into Geulus again. Hare comes out, future redemption will be much higher than the redemption of going out of Mitzrayim. To such a degree, according to one opinion, we don't mention Yitzias Mitzrayim when Mashiach comes. Part of the Haggadah, it says over there that Elazar ben Azariah said, I was like 70 years, so I didn't merit that Yitzias Mitzrayim should be said by night. In other words, Parshas Vayomer that talks about Yitzias Mitzrayim, I couldn't get the people to say it by night. They would only say it they would only hold that you're supposed to say it with Krishma in the morning, because it talks about Parshas Tzitzis during the day. But Yitzias Mitzrayim of Vayomer was not of significance enough to mention it by night. Ad Drosha Ben Zayma, till Ben Zayma came along and said a drosha that says, Tisker Shem says, time, why does it say all those extra words? Hayamim, Halel. Then the Haggadah goes on to say, in other words, that without the drasha of the Chachamim, or before the Chachamim came up with that drasha, so then there were those that said that we do not mention Yetzias Mitzrayim when Mashiach comes. Which means, why don't we mention Yetzias Mitzrayim when Mashiach comes? Because it won't have significance enough to mention it. We'll be so inspired and in awe of all the miracles and all the nisim that took place when Mashiach comes. There will be no reason to mention Yetzias Mitzrayim that took place thousands of years ago. And not only according to the opinion that Ein Maskirim, there's this wide gap, but also according to what we just now quoted, that comes also to bring the days of Mashiach. Also, according to the opinion that says that we do mention Yetzias Mitzrayim in Ma'aseh Mashiach, what are we saying? It's not a given. It's not an accepted a norm to say such a thing. Rather, it's only because we have an extra pasuk. It says the koil that says we learn out Mashiach. So that's how we know that even in the days of Mashiach we will mention Yetzias Mitzrayim, which means it's a chiddush. Without the pasuk we wouldn't have mentioned it. Why wouldn't we have mentioned it? Because it has no significance. Therefore, both according to the opinion that we do mention Yetzias Mitzrayim when Mashiach comes, and sure according to the opinion that we don't mention Yetzias Mitzrayim when Mashiach comes, question arises, why does he say, Kemei says, Aראnu Neflאות? Like your days going out of the land of Mitzrayim, I will show you wonders. The advantage of the future redemption is what also then, when Mashiach will come, I will show you wonders like it was in Yetzias Mitzrayim. That's what it's going to be like. You say to Mizrael, and even more so, the Rebbe asks this question, from the expression, the pasuk, like your days going out of the land of Mitzrayim, I will show you wonders. Mashma, it seems to indicate, the wonders that took place in the land of Mitzrayim, those are the beginning and the root of the wonders that will take place in the future redemption. It's not just this is similar to that, but really this is an outgrowth of that. The wonders of Mashiach times is a continuation and a result of, and began with the wonders of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Therefore, if it began with Yetzias Mitzrayim, then moving this understood, there's an advantage in the redemption of going out of Mitzrayim over the future redemption, Mashiach's times, which is the whole point of these questions over here, to see what can be so special about going out of Mitzrayim when taken and compared to the redemption of the future Mashiach, in the Gula Mashiach. The point of the explanation of this is the pasuk exactly makes says Aránu Neflאות, and this pasuk, like it is going out of the land of Mitzrayim, I will show you wonders. Yeshnei Pirushim, there are two explanations. Pirush Echad, the first explanation, which is what we were saying up till now. The future redemption will be like and compared to the redemption from Mitzrayim. Also then, when Mashiach comes, there will also be wonders like it was in the redemption of going out of Mitzrayim. Pirush Beis, a second explanation. And the wonders that will be in the future redemption. Yiyu niflois, gam be'erach haniflois shahoyu mitzeis ch'meret Mitzrayim. They will be considered wonders, not just like the wonders of going out of Mitzrayim, but someone that, let's say, would have experienced going out of Mitzrayim. You would think he was like, okay, I know miracles. I've seen the Makis, and I've seen the Kriyas Yamsuf, and I've seen all these other miracles. He will also be blown away by the Gula Siddur. It will be considered wondrous and completely out of the box for him, even though he saw the wonders of going out of Mitzrayim. Behind this means that Gam Shebachlolis on the floor is the Gula Siddur. In Doimis on the floor is the Gulas Mitzrayim, though in general the wonders of the future redemption are similar to the wonders of the Gulas Mitzrayim Kipirish HaPashut, like the simple meaning of the pasuk that we're comparing, like the wonders of Yetzias Mitzrayim, so will be the wonders of the future redemption. Apple became still in all. There'll be an advantage in the future and a quality in the future wonders, Al Niflois, the Yetzias Mitzrayim, over the wonders of Yetzias Mitzrayim. So now the Rebbe goes on to explain what are the different levels of Chassidus and Alpi Kabbalah that's going to be when Mashiach comes versus what took place in Yetzias Mitzrayim, and then we'll be able to understand how it is considered wondrous even in comparison to that. Lashna Kabbalah, the expression of Kabbalah in Yaduam, Yetzias Mitzrayim, Putzrach Lahoitzis Yisrael, Mimemtes Sh'on, the Lumazah. The Eden went out of Mitzrayim. It was necessary to take the Eden out from the 49 gates, 49 levels of the opposite of Kedusha. So, for this reason, that's the reason why immediately after going out of Mitzrayim, we begin the days that are counting at Oim. And every single day of the Sfiras Omer, we are leaving one level of the opposite side, the Klippa. This going out of the gates of the opposite, it's through drawing down the 50 gates of Bina, top of the second page of the mind. That by drawing down from the 50 gates of Bina on Pesach, that schleps the Yidden out of the 50 gates of Tum, or the 49 gates of Tum, because Yetzias Mitzrayim was the revelation of the 50 gates of Bina. V'lachein huskar b'Torah in Yetzias Mitzrayim nun pa'amim neged kineged nun shara Bina. Throughout the Torah, there is 50 times mentioned the idea of Yetzias Mitzrayim. What's the significance specifically that's mentioned 50 times? It corresponds to the 50 levels, the 50 gates of Bina. So we've established that Yetzias Mitzrayim is a revelation of the Chamishim Shara Bina, the Nun Shara Bina. Now the Rebbe is going to talk about the contrast, what takes place by Yetzias Mitzrayim and what's going to happen when Mashiach comes. Even though essentially they're all going to be about the 50 gates, even when Mashiach comes, the 50 gates of Mitzrayim, the 50 gates of Mashiach's times are of a different caliber. He doesn't say it here. In other places, he speaks about it. Nifla'os can be divided into nun fla'os, 50 wonders. That's nifla'os. Second line from the top. It's known. Nun shara bina yesh kama dargis, in the 50 gates of Bina, there are many levels. Nun shara bina k'mashlim shachim el Malchus. There's the 50 gates of Bina, the way they come down in Malchus, which is also has to do with Yetzias Mitzrayim, that says Nigel Aleim Melech Malcham Loch Mekadosh Baruch Hu Golem, that the revelation came from the different levels of Malchus, Melech, Malchim, Hamloch, but it's going through the filter of Malchus. That's one level of Chamishim Shara Bina. Another level of Chamishim Shara Bina, that's the first level. It's still in this first level, V'hu Mash Mesita, the Yaipla Bina, and Shachim Malchus. This is what it's brought on Kabbalah the Lashon from the side of the Jubilee, which is Bina, it comes down into the sphere of Malchus. The Jubilee has to do with Bina. As we know, Jubilee is 50 years. So Yovel is another term in Kabbalah used for Bina because the Chamishim Shara Bina. And from Bina, it comes down to Malchus. They have an association, Bina and Malchus. Hey Elah, hey Tata. They are both mother, they are both the feminine. So there's a connection that the Chamishim Shara Bina become revealed through Malchus. That's the first level. That's the lowest level. The Ma'ila Yoser, there's a higher level of the 50 levels of Bina. There's the 50 gates of Bina, the way they're there in Bina itself, not the way it lowers itself down to Malchus. The Ma'ila Yoser, and even higher, the Ma'ashem Klul and B'Shan Nun, 50 gates of Bina, the way they are not independent levels, but the way they are all part of the 50th gate before they came out to be the other 49 distinct levels. We know the 50th gate is utmost highest level, it reaches higher than say the Stalshus to explain, which is the B'chinas HaKesel. This way, the way all the rest of the 49 are part of the 50th gate, that means the way the whole 50 gates are on the level of Keser. Keser Gufa, B'chinas Atik, and Keser itself. Where is it kololin? How high up does it reach? It reaches all the way in the level of Atik Yomin. And now we'll understand, based on these different levels of Chamishim Shara Bina, the difference and the wonders of Mashiach's times in comparison to the wonders of Yitzias Mitzrayim. He says, the loss of love you, Neflois, Gamber, Neflois, Yitzias Mitzrayim. That's why the revelations of the future time will be wonders, also in comparison to the wonders of going out of Mitzrayim. Kinun Shara Bina Shenim Shkubi Mitzrayim, the 50 gates of Bin that came down when they went out of Mitzrayim. These are the gates of Bina itself, not the way they are in the 50th gate, the way they are in Kesef. And not only are the way they're in Bina itself, but even lower. The way they come down through a level of Malchus. So it's really the lowest level of the 50 Sha'arim that we spoke about up to now. As opposed to the future time, it'll be the drawing down of the 50 gates of Bina, the way they are. In Keser, that's level completely on the opposite side of the spectrum, will come down when Mashiach comes. The light, not only the way it's in Keser, Keser, in Keser itself, it will be drawn down from the level of Atik Yom and Pnimius HaKeser. Atik Gufa and Pnimius Atik, and Atik itself is from the inner level of Atik itself. Like it says concerning Mashiach in the Haftorah also of Achron Shal Pesach. Behold, my servant will be successful. Yarum, he will be exalted. Menisa, raised up to a Gava, Ma'id, and very high. The Ma'id, Zed, Chsiv, Gav, Mashiach. This word Ma'id, that says by Mashiach, Pnimius Atik. It goes on the inner level of Atik, because we know Ma'id, whenever the word Ma'id is added to something, superlative means over the top. So over here that it says Ma'id, by Mashiach, it means that it'll be so high. Pnimius Atik. The expression of Kabbalah, all the levels that we draw down, Torah, mitzvahs, other types of things, and so on, the most it is from the external level of Atik. Also, when Mashiach comes, will be the drawing down, the revelation of the inner part of Atik, which means the 50 gates of Bina, the way they are in the 50th gate, all the way it's in Pnimius Atik. Ella, despite that when Mashiach comes, it will be all the 50th gate, all the 50 gates waiting in the 50th gate from Pnimius Atik. The way it was in Yitzias Mitzrayim was the Chamishim Shara Bina, the way it came down to Malchus. Still, in all the pasuk compares the Al Shaf became Medama Kosav on the Floy Shah you Begula Sidol on the Floy Shah you Yitzias Mitzrayim. Still, in all the pasuk compares the wonders that will be in the future redemption to the wonders that were in Yitzias Mitzrayim. Because of like the simple literal meaning of the pasuk, the Gula Sida Aراנו Neflאות, that in the future redemption will be wonders like similar to what was when you went on Mitzrayim. So there's a comparison. Why? How is that so? Also, when the Yidden went out of Mitzrayim, it was also very high revelation. God says that the King of Kings, the Eibishter, revealed himself upon them, but the Haggadah does not suffice with that expression. It adds to it in his glory and in his very self. Today's Beis Nissen, the yahrzeit of the Rebbe Rashab, the Voide Ba'atzmi goes on the highest, most levels of Hashem's very essence. So we see that Yetzias Mitzrayim, there was also amazingly high level. But the difference is between the way it's going to be when Mashiach comes, the level of Pnimius HaKeser, the Pnimius Atik, that's never going to be revealed until then, versus these Voide Ba'atzmi levels that took place by Yetzias Mitzrayim is Yetzias Mitzrayim Hayagil the B'chinas Zu Idei Slapshes the B'chinas Malchut. Yetzias Mitzrayim, this revelation of the level came through becoming enclosed in the sphere of Malchut. Like we said before, there's the 50 gates, the way it comes down through Malchus, the same thing. All this Melech, Malcham, Lochmakon, Barku, Bechvoide V'atzmai, the highest, most level, even the level of Atzmus and so on, still the way it's coming through Malchus. This is hinted also in what it says in the Pasuk, Pasach Hashem ala Pesach, that Hashem skipped over the entrance. Pesach u'b'chinas ha-Malchus. Entrance that goes on the level of the spheres of Malchus, because Malchus is an entrance way from Biyah to Atzilus, and also the other way around, from Atzilus into Biyah. Pasach ala Pesach, he jumped over, he brought a very high level, considered skipping and jumping, onto Malchus. So as high as the revelation was in the times of Yetzias Mitzrayim, it still went through the filter of Malchus. Also, love in the future when Mashiach comes, this will be in a way of revelation without any type of garment. It'll be directly the 50 gates and the 50 gates, the way they're part of the 50th, and the way they're Pnimius Atik, without any type of filter. Like it says, that your master will not cover himself anymore in a garment. Any questions before we go on? Still in all, we need to understand according to what we said now, that like your days going out of the land of Mitzrayim, I will show you wonders. Why does still the Pasuk liken the wonders of the future redemption to the wonders that took place in the days of going out of the land of Mitzrayim, since going out of the land of Mitzrayim was only through Malchus and so on. And it's even more, it's not understood. According to the opinion, also when Mashiach comes, we will include Parshas Vayomer in Kriyas Shema. Like we said, the Chachamim say, Kol Yemei Chayecha. It doesn't just say, which is talking about these days. That it also includes the days of Mashiach. So the Rebbe asks a very simple question. What purpose? Why do we have to even mention? Since the revelations of the future time will be much higher than the revelations that were in Yetzias Mitzrayim. Why will we mention Yetzias Mitzrayim also then? In other words, basic questions on the Pasuk. Why does the Pasuk compare them? And also a practical question. Why? What's the benefit? What's the purpose? What's the reason to even mention Yetzias Mitzrayim when Mashiach comes, if it's going to be of such a greater caliber when Mashiach comes? The Rebbe says 3 lines from the bottom. It's known the explanation. This is more like it says in the Maim. Kemei Tzeiska of the Friedrich Rebbe of Tafshin, I believe. The Begulas Mitzrayim, the Chadish Klolos Inyan HaGeul. In the redemption from Mitzrayim, the entire idea of redemption, the concept of redemption, began. B'niftach hatzinar hal kol hageulas, and was opened up the channel, the pipeline for all the redemptions, Magolius, the La'achre Golos Mitzrayim, from the redemption, from the exiles, even after the Golos Mitzrayim, Gam al Agula Asida, even on the future redemption. That's one of the explanations that we say in the Agada. Ilu, the Agada says, if we wouldn't have been redeemed from Mitzrayim, so then us and our children would have still been Ayinim Shabadim Lapare from Mitzrayim. What do you mean? Since then, there were many Geulas. If we wouldn't have been redeemed the once, we would have redeemed the next time. So the Baal HaGoda is hinting at what the Rebbe is saying right now, that every future redemption, every idea of freedom that takes place later on is only a result of the original redemption from Mitzrayim. That opened up the possibility for Geula. Without that, there wouldn't have been the concept of Geula, even the future redemption. Hagam, though Shatir Geula Niles Yosef, though the future redemption, top of the third page of the mind, it's going to be an even greater redemption, but it began and it started with going on in Mitzrayim. Similar to what it's known, Mitzrayim, all Matan Torah going on in Mitzrayim was preparation for the giving of the Torah. Like it says, by Tziyachas Mitzrayim, Hashem told Moshe Rabbeinu by the burning bush, when you take the Yidden out of Mitzrayim, they shall serve God on this mountain. In other words, it's all one continuum. It all completes with Matan Torah. That's that though the main redemption and freedom was by Matan Torah, and it says we brought this pasuk in the previous mimer, believe Al Tikra Chorus says that the words of the Aseret Dibros were engraved on the luchas. Al Tikra Chorus, do not read it Chorus Ela Cherus, but freedom from Malcham Avos, freedom from Yetzer Hara. In other words, the true redemption, the true freedom took place in Matan Torah. And the Rebbe explains why is it the true Geula by Matan Torah, not even when the Yid went on Mitzrayim. Kime Kivin Shalifni Matan Torah Hoysa Dain Agzeda Del Yonim Layabel Taktoin Layal Yonim, since prior to Matan Torah, still the decree that the ones above should not descend below, and the ones below should not descend above. So it was like a prison. We were stuck in the Tachtoinim. Moving, so it's understood Sha'ad Matan Torah Gam La'achre Yitzias Mitzrayim, up until the giving of the Torah, even after the going out of Mitzrayim, like Hoysa Daina Mitis Hagula V'Acheres Tachtoinim, there still was not the true redemption and the freedom of those down below. Be'afal Pikein, and still in all the Eis Hageula the Yitzias Mitzrayim Nitan Hakoyach Gam Halageula Bitl Agzer Shnas Matan Torah. Geula of Yitzias Mitzrayim was the opening of the channel for what's going to happen by Matan Torah, the redemption, the freedom that will take place by Matan Torah. So just like Yitzias Mitzrayim began the process of what would take place by Matan Torah, the ultimate redemption of Matan Torah, so too the Geula of Mitzrayim, it relates to the Geula of Mashiach. That so Gam and Geula Geula is similar to the future redemption. The redemption of going on Mitzrayim was given the power also on the future redemption. Since during Matan Torah was already similar to the revelation of Mashiach's time, as we said before. But not as we said before, no, in general. We said before that the Geula of Yitzias Mitzrayim has to do with Matan Torah. And Matan Torah, we know that the Rebbe brings in Tanya that the revelation that took place in Matan Torah is similar to Mashiach's time. So if the Geula of Yitzias Mitzrayim began a process that concluded with Matan Torah, so in a similar vein, it could be the beginning of the process of Mashiach's time. Now the Rebbe says, and if Matan Torah is similar to Mashiach's time, so what's the difference? Matan Torah, the Rebbe explains in Tanya, the revelation of Matan Torah's time, even though it was similar to Mashiach's times, it was only temporary. The revelation of Hashem in this world when Mashiach comes, though it's similar to Matan Torah, but it'll be constant and everlasting. Why will it be constant and everlasting? Why won't it be temporary? Because the revelation then when Mashiach comes will not only come from above, like by Matan Torah it came, it will also come from the perspective of down here below. It will be because of what we're doing. Therefore, there won't be any reason for it to move back from the Geula. Because once Mashiach comes, all the creations will be in an ultimate refined state. There'll be vessels for the revelation of godliness, to be able to comprehend the mind of the Creator as much as humanly possible, like the Rambam says, is a nasa shlim. By a person being a complete keli and being totally able to grasp Hashem, that makes it an appropriate place, a perfect place for the resting of the earnest of beyond the power of a person. And because that higher level rests over here, so this doesn't allow any more for any possibility of Golus, and therefore the Geula will be everlasting. Any questions?